Look here. It's me again, Sister Sadie. Well, I hadn't been on here for a little while because I had some other things that I had to do. But meanwhile, did y'all remember that they just reported to us that the doomsday clock is set at 89 seconds to midnight? That sounds troublesome. That sounds troublesome. But I also recognize that we've been dealing with a whole bunch of other stuff going on in the news. It's troublesome. It's troublesome times. Well, I was trying to talk to my young granddaughters about this thing. Children, they don't know all of what's going on. Not to say that any of us do either, because it's kind of confusing what's going on, in the country these days. And I ain't trying to really get all political. I could. Now, I don't think I can't when I can, but I ain't trying to get political. What I'm trying to do is apply a little bit of wisdom, a little bit of spirituality to the whole situation. And I'm going to tell you how I get through my days. Because I was talking to the guy at the car shop, went to get my oil changed. And I was talking to my granddaughter about rudeness. And it turned out I was talking about the same thing. It's rude not to put oil in your car and expect it to ride all around town and do things for you. And it's rude not to put oil into your conversations and expect people to treat you the right way. If you don't put the oil on, you're going to get some friction. And what's going on in this here world today? We got a lot of friction going on. See, I was talking to the kids. Kids these days, they'll talk to you. They'll call you by your first name if you let them. They'll call me Miss Daisy Graham or something like that. They don't be calling me by my first name, and Miss Sadie. Then the kids, they just talk to you any kind of way. They talk to each other that way. And it's just, they think they call it keeping it real. They don't know they rude. My granddaughter, she didn't even know rude meant that. But then as I was talking to her, and then I went to go get the oil change, and I said, it's the same thing. It's when you don't apply the good graces or the oil, and then you get a little friction, and you wonder what went wrong. Apply the oil. Say thank you. Use your manners. Say please. Don't just snap off at people when any old kind of way you want to. Now, see, here's the thing. I was looking at this other here video, and the lady, she do the work, and she be talking to people about, adjusting their own thinking. Because, what you bring into a situation, you're going to get that back. And then you think it's all about them, but how much of it is you? And then I say this to myself, because sometimes, you don't want to cross me. You see what I'm saying? But I got to learn how to talk to people, right? I'm reading this other book. I reads it now and then. It's called A Roadmap for Relationships. And it was this couple, Dorothy and Martin Hellman. That's who wrote the book, New Map for Relationships. I like that book. Because it's just plain old folk talking about real stuff. And they were talking about how they had to learn how to talk to each other in their marriage, don't you see, and adjust their own attitude so their marriage could work. They loved each other, but they just couldn't get along. You heard that song? Yeah, well, see, all of our friction ain't because we don't love each other. It's because we don't know how to love each other. That's two different things. The love that's a feeling ain't the same thing as the love that's an action, you see. The love that's an action, you got to take the love that's a feeling and let it kind of oil you, don't or your temper and all of that kind of stuff so that you can talk smooth. The smooth talking. We like that smooth talking. So that's what I'm saying, the new map for relationships and what they discovered. Don't really, when you think about it, it don't sound that big of a deal. But when you to hear it, well, let me just say, they say the same thing it take to make that marriage work is the same thing it takes to make the inner nations work. You know what I'm saying? The international situation and all of this human fiction is human beings. It's human beings. And that's why they say that thing. Said it long ago. Love make the world go round. And what the world need now, Child, we need love. So I went over there to get my oil changed, and the young man, he talking about, trying to save money and how hard it is, and all that, talking about his kids, talking about his wife, all these things that he talking about, and I understand. And then all the politics on top of that, then you go to the store and you can't buy a loaf of bread. And I understand. He said, I'm trying to keep a good attitude. He said, some people done did me wrong, but I try to keep a good attitude. You got to keep that good attitude. You sure can't let the people that's bad turn you into a bad, mad person. But that's what we do if we ain't careful. And that's why I'm just here to tell you that, sometimes folks, we got to look into that man in the mirror and say, you know what? I'm going to love you anyhow. And I'm going to let my love light shine. That's what I'm going to do. And ain't nobody going to take that away from me. I ain't going to let nobody take that away from me. Take some work. Take some work. Got to check myself. But I want to put the oil on the situation and reduce the friction. And I think that it's going to have to be some oil stores set up along the side for us to get back to Sanity Road. Tell me what you think. You think maybe if we put some oil on it, that'll help us get to Sanity Road? Talk to me, citizen.